What is going on, guys? My name is Tefty. Welcome to another episode of Destiny 2. I just want to start out this video by saying thank you guys for the support. I read the comments on the previous video and it was really cool to see just to see the overall support that's still here on this channel. I know I've not been posting hardly at all this year, and just recently getting back into it and seeing the responses for some news / opinion type of actual YouTube content is just really cool. So I just want to say thank you guys. So for those that don't know, Bungie dropped a TWAB yesterday. That's a This Week at Bungie. And it had a lot of juicy details about a Season of Opulence, which I'm actually really excited about, guys. I don't know if you could tell from the previous video. I'm definitely excited about it, and I'm still excited about it with that TWAB. It's actually been the first time in a while, in like a long time, that I've actually been legit excited and hidden the refresh page on Bungie to see what they actually drop and what kind of details they give us. There was some things I was expecting that wasn't in there, which I was a little disappointed about, and I'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But the big thing that they showed off was Chalice of Opulence. At least for me, the big thing was Chalice of Opulence. And it's exciting to see them finally go down this path, because they started with this with the Dawning event, which happened in December. And that gave us this oven / cookie recipe type of thing that was really cool and was fun. And it ultimately only gave us really like weapon parts and some masterwork cores. So that was definitely good on that side, but it didn't give us like legit weapons and gear to chase after. At least I don't remember it giving us legit weapons. It might have given us like a sword, also avalanche as well, which was super rare for the presence. But basically it was this loop of killing stuff out in the open world or different places, and then bringing it back to the oven, or I mean opening up your inventory for the oven, and then applying the recipes and giving the presents out to the certain people in the tower. It was cool. It was fun. I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed it. Fast forward to the Drifter, or Season of the Drifter. They have the Reckoning, and they have these synthesizers. Synthesizers is essentially a dumbed down version of that oven, where you get these you get the tokens essentially. I mean, let's be honest, they're tokens, and then you put them into the synthesizer and it turns into a mote, and then you deposit the mote before you go into Reckoning to get a piece of armor. And right off the bat, problems with that was Tier 1 and Tier 2 were basically throwaways, because you weren't going to use those if you were going to actually go for Tier 3 armor. So it had this like essentially time gating type of thing that kind of dampened it, and also the options were very limited because it was just 4 pieces of armor, specifically no weapons that you were going to synthesize out of there. So fast forward further now into Chalice of Opulence, which is the new oven device that Bungie is using. I am very excited about this type of thing, because you're going to be able to go and get these runes. There's, from what it looks like, 3 major differences of runes. There's a green rune, a red rune, and a purple rune. And there will be different versions of those runes as well. So for instance, in the TWAB, they gave us a recipe. They said if you want the beloved sniper rifle, a rune of jubilation, and then any red rune and any purple rune is the recipe to get that sniper rifle with a, I believe it was handling masterwork. So that means that any red and any purple, plus a rune of jubilation, which is going to be a green by the looks of it, will give you a sniper rifle. Now, what's super exciting about this is that you'll be able to control what type of weapon that you want to go after and continually try to get those rolls. I don't know how freely available runes are going to be. They're saying basically weekly type of stuff is going to give runes. So completing weekly bounties, opening up weekly chests on the new Nessus barge, using a consumable that will reward a rune after a strike, crucible, or gambit completion. So those, it seems like runes are not going to be freely available initially. There might be like a end of season or mid-season type of activity that really opens it up, or maybe doing heroic menagerie is going to have a chance of awarding runes, or maybe even just regular menagerie is going to have a chance at awarding runes. That's possible too. Either way, one of the things that killed Reckoning for me was having this thought that I had to do 5 Tier 3s or Tier 2s to get a single weapon, and then it wasn't going to be the weapon that I wanted. Really kind of killed it for me. And then also having to wait alternate weeks to actually go for spare rations, the hand cannon. It put a damper on things. I didn't really enjoy it. So Chalice of Opulence is in my opinion, the perfect device to do this, because Menagerie is probably going to get boring, yes, but if you can slot in and try to get it on the sniper rifle, hand cannon, maybe you're into pulses, maybe you're into scout rifles for some reason, I don't know why you would be. You could get that stuff and try to go for a specific role that you want. So I really like what they're doing with this. There also appears to be quite a few runes. That's going to have some interesting chases that happen in the community. I made a prediction on DCP last night that I think that there's going to be a specific set of runes that are going to unlock an exotic quest that you will get by slotting the runes and then completing the menagerie with this. Those runes are probably going to come from the raid, and that's the other thing too. Is the raid, you're probably going to get some runes, which I think is awesome. I love this type of stuff because it makes the whole game kind of feel open towards being able to get runes in different spots, and then you take it to this area to, or the menagerie, to actually complete the quest for your piece of loot. I like that stuff. Now, this chalice is going to be upgradable over time, and with these Imperials, that you're going to be earning the same way as you earn the runes. You're going to complete weekly bounties, some triumphs, some consumables, things like that are going to allow you to upgrade the chalice, and the upgrades are going to allow you to, I guess, configure the runes a little bit more specifically, so you can have more targeted rewards and goals for it. That's what it sounds like. I don't obviously know fully because I haven't played it yet. And maybe there's been some data mining out there. I haven't been scouring Reddit to know more details about this stuff. I typically stay away from Reddit for that because I like to be surprised somewhat. I might have to change that if I make more of these videos. It's cool to see the path grow over time, but it's probably going to create the same problem that Reckoning had, where the synthesizers tier 1 and tier 2 were essentially useless, and you just don't care about those after a while, and you only care about the tier 3 loot. So I'm kind of worried about that. But at the same time, if that's the price that we pay to have this cool system in-game to where we can chase specific types of loot and have this kind of puzzle going on, I'm willing to have that trade-off with Bungie personally. Because this type of thing, I just think is badass. I really like the concept of the chalice. I like the concept of being able to kind of craft and forge your gear. I mean, this is essentially taking the best parts of the forge, the Dawning event, Reckoning, and putting it into a thing that's going to be, in my opinion, the best piece of gear chasing for Season of Opulence. So something I want to talk about that was brought up quite a bit in the previous video, and a lot of people have been talking about, is a lot of this stuff looks like reskins. And you guys aren't wrong. It's obviously been bedazzled or bejeweled type of reskins. My thing is, I don't really mind that much when it comes to Destiny anymore. Destiny is full of reskins. It's had D1 exotics brought forward. Every D1 exotic being brought forward is technically a reskin, because it's the same exotic with maybe a little bit different paint, or they've got ornaments on there. I don't personally mind reskins. The thing that bugs me about Destiny right now is the sandbox, and I should probably make a different video about that at some point, talking about the sandbox and the problems, because the issue is that most pieces of gear boil down to the same perks that you're chasing for, which is ultimately just a DPS focused sandbox. And that's my issue when it comes to new gear in the game. Less about the things looking similar, because I could care less unless it's identical. Like if you bring out a Better Devils and then you have a Better Devils, Better-ish Devils, and it looks identical, then I'm gonna be like, well, maybe you should change the texture map a bit, you know? Like those are things I would straight up call out. But these are not straight up copies of the texture maps and the geometries. They have been bejeweled with extra trimmings. So it's technically not a reskin, because there is more geometry on there. But even if it was just a straight up texture map reskin, again, I don't really care about that stuff. As long as I'm chasing loot and it's new and I'm not getting the same freaking go figure every time I pop an engram or get a reward, then I don't mind as much. And this has been one of my biggest criticisms about the seasons, is that the world drops are not refreshed. And again, if the world drops were refreshed in a way where, even if it is technically reskins, at least it's something new in the sandbox that I'm seeing and popping from engrams, and not getting the same feeling of like, oh, here's more Tangled Shore crap that I don't care about, that's not going to roll enhanced perks. By the way, that reminds me, I really hope that we can get enhanced perks on the Chalice gear, because if you don't get enhanced perks on gear, it really kills the interest level for me quite a bit on that stuff, because once you have enhanced hand cannon reload, I mean, come on, are you really not going to use that? I recently started using enhanced grenade launcher reload, and it's just, you can't not use it. It's too good. So anyways, back to the reskin stuff. I personally don't mind it. I know a lot of you guys get really riled up. It seems to be a pain point in the Destiny community quite a bit about, oh my god, these reskins are coming back. Jesus, why do they do? How could you, Bungie? How could you do this? What I do care about is chasing the same perks over and over and over. And again, I think that's a discussion for a different video that I'll do at some point in the future. But anyways, this video, I want to highlight Chalice of Opulence and how awesome that is, and how exciting it is to have that in the Destiny universe right now. So very, very much so. Looking forward to that. I believe this is going to unlock after you do the first mission or the first quest once Season of Opulence drops, which then unlocks the raid in Menagerie, I believe. We did also get the details on the pinnacle weapons for next season. I would like to save that for a separate video. Yes. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm going to save it for a separate video on the pinnacle weapons. So one final thing that I wanted to bring up in this video. I did mention some pros and some cons about the TWAB, and my biggest pro obviously is the Chalice of Opulence, and my biggest con about the TWAB was the severe lack of buffs. They had specifically stated that they were going to talk about the buffs that were going to come to the sandbox. Man, there wasn't that much buffs. I mean, you got Sturm and Drang, you got swords, was there something else? Let me look. That was pretty much it. Sturm and Drang and swords, and I was like, this is not buffs. We had Nerf Apocalypse happen 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the biggest of Nerf Apocalypse is all of those exotic pieces of armor that give you super back are seemingly going to get cut pretty hard, and it doesn't look like any kind of like super changes or serious sandbox tuning is going to be happening, which I'm definitely pretty disappointed about on that. I'm excited to see, you know, new content, obviously, so don't get me wrong, excited to see that stuff, but when they bring in all those nerfs and then don't back it up with some sandbox buffs, that's a little disappointing. Oh, also fusion rifles. Yeah, they buff fusion rifle damage in PvE. So that's nice. It doesn't make up for Whisper of the Worm getting hit. It doesn't make up for my Orpheus rigs, Skull of Dire Hamkara, all that stuff. So I would have liked to see some legit tuning to rebalance things in that side. Maybe that is coming. Maybe there is actually some like big sandbox changes, but it'd be a little weird to see them drop that a day or two before the raid and be like, hey, we changed some stuff. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is just what the sandbox is right now, and it's kind of been the theme of the whole year, honestly, since Forsaken, is that they're just slightly changing things here and there and not really doing much adjustments in a global sense. So a little disappointed about that, honestly. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. If you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and also leave me a comment. Let me know what you enjoyed about the video. If you disliked the video, then hit the dislike button and let me know what you did not like about the video. I'm fine with that as well. I am greatly appreciative of all the support, both here on YouTube and also over the years on Twitch. It's been amazing to see all the support, so I really do appreciate that, guys. YouTube has changed over the years as well, so if you do want to get definite content from me and not miss anything, you're going to have to hit the subscribe button and then also ring the bell. Apparently, that's what all the cool kids say these days, is ring the bell. So if you want more content, ring that bell for me on YouTube. Or if you want to catch my streams, either or, go to twitch.tv/TeftyTeft and click the follow button on there. I stream usually in the evening time, Pacific West Coast evening time, and it's usually Monday through Saturday, guys, where Thursday is also a podcast day. So if you're interested in a Destiny podcast, I do a podcast over there. I've been doing that. We're at episode 138, and it's twitch.tv/DCP_live. It's also on all the podcast indications if you are a fan of podcast formatting and all that stuff. And also, one more plug, we have a side quest podcast where we talk all things non-Destiny related, and Eric's is on there, Miss 5000 Watts, and Briar Rabbit. It's a fun show. You guys should check it out if you like podcasts again. And that's Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific time on the DCP_live channel, which is once again syndicated through all the podcast channels if you want to check that out. And you can also talk to me at Teft on Twitter, on the old Twitterverse as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time for another video